All right, everybody. Saturday night, Silly Shill Show coming at you live, and we got Thor Logic of the Gods with us. We're going to be looking at some really cool, crazy stuff tonight as we go to YouTube channel Silent Alchemy for a video, Reptilians of Ancient Egypt. Oh, God. Gaia or Gaia, I don't know how to say that one properly. Cosmic Disclosure inside the alien craft. Oh, Jesus. Post-disclosure world. What do aliens have planned for humanity? My vote was ham. Press for Truth, the pre-planned global response to COVID and the endgame agenda. Oh, Jesus. We're going deep tonight, folks. Oh, no. Here we go. So let's give somebody responsibility for this mess. Kevin Kennedy, your show. Take it away, buddy.
You always have to blame... oh, sorry. We were talking about reptilians, and I got something stuck in my head. Sorry about that. Always got to blame it on someone. Might as well blame it on the guy in space. Yeah, so those to quote Brown01 in the chat here, all those titles, they all sound true AF. I can't wait to get into that. But let's go around the room first and see how everybody's doing. First of all, Mr. Dawson, how are you?
Oh, good, man. Good. Pretty excited. These are some strange titles. Haven't looked at the videos. You know, I like to go in cold and just, you know, let it hit me like a ton of bricks. And yeah, this is going to be a fun one. So I can't wait. I can't wait. And, you know, with everybody locked in and whatnot, it's time to really find the dumbest shit. And wow, is our team achieving? Oh, fuck.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. I mean... Yesterday, I got nice and riled up yesterday with all the space stuff, and then tonight it's alien stuff. Like someone's trying to give me an aneurysm, I think. Let's see, manning the taps as per usual. Sarcastic Barman, how are you today, sir?
Hello, yeah, not too bad. Very boring week though. There's no one about. No one can come to the pub. Not many takeaways, and it's like, bored. So I've been playing lots of games, so that's been fun, and laughing at people on the internet because they're fucking stupid.
That's pretty much become my life too. Video games and laughing at people. There's nothing else to do right now.
They are all mad. £20 notes with apparently 5G transmitters and coronaviruses on is the new thing. It's fucking everywhere. It's, oh, Jesus Christ.
You know what my favorite thing was? I got a sponsored tweet from Hawaii, or however you say that, talking about their new 5G network, and there was a bunch of comments of people posting videos of people in China tearing down a street light, and them going, "Look, they're tearing down the 5G transmitters because they know." And everyone's like, that's a street light with a CCTV camera, and these were doing during the Hong Kong protests.
Mm-hmm. The fact they're holding black umbrellas, I think I've seen that same video say. One of my friends, she's just constantly posting conspiracy stuff at the moment, and I'm like, oh my God, I thought you were like semi-intelligent. Fuck my life.
It spreads deep, man. It spreads really deep. And from across the globe here, good morning, Vietnam. Steaming Cup of Reason. How are you today, sir?
Good morning, silly shills. How are you all doing today, my fellow stompers?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. How are you?
Doing okay. It's a bit of a stupid o'clock in the morning for me. I'm still half asleep, but I'm here, and that's a good thing.
So you're just conscious enough to deal with the level of stupid we've got.
Just barely conscious enough, you know.
Good luck.
All right, and manning the controls today, the Mad Scotsman, Mr. Essential himself, Tattie-Bogle. How are you today, sir?
All right, troops, all right. I'm just sitting here empathising with Steaming Cup for Reason. Aye, sleep deprivation is a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
However, oh, yeah, it certainly is, man. I was up earlier than I wanted to this morning to get to the shops to get some kind of food in, which was fun. And working tomorrow. But I compensate for that by by inflicting, say, certain videos on certain people who I consider family.
Evil bastard.
I'm not responsible for the choosing of the videos. I am, however, responsible for the showing. Enjoy.
Good enough for me. Fuck you.
I have to say, I was watching for once. I was watching the subtitles the whole time you were speaking there, and that's a wild ride. When you were talking about getting food, I thought you were saying something about the king of Bhutan. See, and it understood me saying the king of Bhutan properly that time.
Wow.
I tell you, man, Google just doesn't have a fucking clue, man. Really doesn't have a clue.
Too funny.
All right,
Blank.
and keeping an eye on the chat as per usual. Aimee Hogan, how are you today?
I am doing great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing all right, thanks.
Good.
What's new in your world? Keeping busy with yourself and the young one cooped up at home?
We are. He just went outside not too long ago and was having fun on his scooter, and we're just getting ready for more schooling. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow too, just catching up on stuff he missed last week. So not a problem. I've been looking forward to some of the stupid we've got on tonight for the, the videos. Oh my gosh, it's going to be fun. And I want to thank Thor for coming on tonight. Thank you so much. And I want to thank everybody in the chat for coming as well. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
My pleasure, Aimee. My pleasure.
Yeah, speaking of man of the hour, the guest for tonight, Thor Logic of the Gods. How are you today?
Oh, very well indeed, very well. I'm about halfway down my fourth bottle of McEwen's Levy, so feeling good about that one. I've been laughing at people in my neck of the woods in South Wales who've been setting fire to cell towers, thinking that it's 5G that's spreading COVID-19. So looking forward to throwing a hammer into the works of stupidity.
Nice.
Excellent. Oh yeah, TD Lane just pointed out. He said, "Merry stupidness later tonight is a G-man debate, so drink responsibly."
Oh yeah.
I'm drinking McEwen, so I'm drinking very responsibly.
Oh, night of the gods, man.
Nice.
Well,
Get it in you. Get it in you, Tatty. Get it in you.
I get it in your neck, son.
So
Well,
what do
it
you
sounds
think
like-
here, guys?
sounds like we got everybody in the right state of mind to pull some of the stupid out of the bag for today, huh?
All right. So yeah, what the team is serving up first tonight? We got Silent Alchemy, Reptilians of Ancient Egypt, and that just wow.
I remember this one. It was Alien versus Predator.
Oh man, bring it on.
Didn't
Okay.
Tutankhamun own a pet gecko?
Yeah. I think his name was Richie. I'm not sure.
A little early.
We haven't even given that out yet, have we?
No, I think it's just starting with a bang.
Oh, God.
I feel like walking out of one of those music shows and they hit the X before you've even spoke.
Tapin MOF MOF TAF SEMF Minute F Nebbit Hayet Nebbit Henenet Nebbit Jedefouet F Awet F Hasset Samawu M Sanut.
I'm so confused. It's not even started properly.
Paused?
What the hell is going on?
How did a student art film make it into our videos?
What the actual hell is going on?
Brilliant, man.
You know what? I need a little cleanse here. We had a super chat. Aimee, would you like to get that?
Yes, please. From John Rapp for Australian $5. He says, I'm starting a new derp theory. Dinosaurs were aliens. They came to Earth on an interstellar generation ship. New aliens searching for their kin. Thank you so much, John. That's great.
That's a good one.
There are so many people who would be down with that.
Absolutely.
And
So-
it still makes more sense than flat Earth.
Yeah.
Everything makes more sense.
Or
than
ancient
flat Earth.
Egyptian reptilians.
Yeah.
This is
So,
this
who wants
is
to-
this is ridiculous though. Like this is the kind of thing that would make. Hey?
No, go ahead, Nick.
This is the kind of thing that would make Stanley Kubrick look at somebody and say, "No, idiot. The LSD is done after the movie is made." Fuck, you know.
Exactly.
Well, I have a question. Who here wants to bet that the language being spoken right now is not actually what we're led to think it is, if it is anything?
Well, I wouldn't take that bet because nobody knows what ancient Egyptian sounded like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There you go.
I mean, even if they're speaking in what is modern Egyptian is probably a form of Arabic, right?
Yeah,
What do
essentially it
people
is Arabic.
speak in Egypt now? I have no idea.
That would be
Essentially, it's Arabic.
Arabic.
All right, and this definitely doesn't sound like Arabic, so I'm guessing this is just someone making shit up.
Yeah, I think.
No.
Yeah.
They're throwing in
Their
names
official
of
language.
Egyptian
Oh,
gods, and that's about it.
I tell you what it sounds like to me. It sounds like a language that was made up by an organization called the Golden Dawn, which Aleister Crowley was involved with in the late 1890s.
Aha. Interesting.
Fair enough,
I
could
did
be.
find their official language now. It's Modern Standard Arabic is what they speak in Egypt.
Yeah, that figures, right?
That's about what I expected, but what we're hearing right now is definitely no dialect of Arabic. It's just mumbo jumbo.
Definitely doesn't sound like what they speak on Stargate.
Yeah, no, this sounds like something that would have been concocted by the History Channel to support 4 or 5 of their new programs. You know?
Or a Witch of Coven thing from a really shitty B movie.
Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking. It totally sounds like a witch coven in a movie that was shot for $200.
Glober Mom has a good comment here. She says it sounds like Sims language.
Ah. I wonder. You know, just a little process to sound all spooky like.
Has anyone ever seen that wonderful meme from Tumblr? It's just a text meme of describing those weird moments in life where, you know, you walk into a room and you forget why you were there, or you open the fridge over and over again expecting there to be different things in there, and at the end of it someone just whispers, "We're all Sims." Game is more accurate than we realize.
Funny.
But should we let this video progress to a point where he tries to actually say something?
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah. I'm going to go to the cooler in the back of the room there and get a drink.
Ooh.
Careful not to use the yellow cooler.
Keep going till we hit English.
3,500 years ago, during the reign of King Thutmose III, ancient Egypt was invaded by spherical UFOs, which were described as circles of fire. According to ancient papyrus, these spherical UFOs filled the sky for several days.
No.
That's what you get for licking the mold.
He said according to ancient papyrus, but why didn't you show us it then?
Oh, of course.
Right?
And I guarantee, I'm willing to bet there were a lot of really great ancient Egyptian astronomers. It would not surprise me if some of them saw something in the sky that looked like a nebula, and they described it as a circle of fire.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Here we are. The Thule Papyrus is claimed to be a transcription of an Egyptian papyrus dating from the reign of Thutmose III. The claim originated in a 1953 article published in Doubt, the Fortean Society magazine by Tiffany Thayer, and was promoted by Eric von Daniken.
Oh, of course.
surprise.
I thought I could smell sucralose all over this. Fuck.
It's a very short Wikipedia article, and it's generally believed that the papyrus is a hoax.
Yeah. Okay, now it's making sense. Okay.
It's so much better when we can debunk the video like 3 minutes in. It's a 10-minute video.
Yeah. So let's let it run a bit more then,
Well,
because now that we know what we're.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We got a couple of things. Aimee, go ahead, and then Barman, you're up next.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, John Rapp gave us Australian $2. He says, "Good day, chat. You're the awesomest." Oh, and hi, panel. Hi, John. Thank you so much.
John, you can't see it, but I'm flipping you off right now. Barman, go ahead.
Oh, well, I want to put in my complaint that I was only told there was going to be a sack of stupid tonight. This is a whole fucking truckload in the first 2 minutes of this fucking video. I mean, Jesus Christ. No fact checking once again. And Kennedy, you can't flip people off. You're a head in a jar. You don't have hands.
He's sticking his tongue out.
There has to be, I was going to say, there has to be like some ancient equivalent of flipping people off that just uses like eye movement.
Yeah, probably.
We've all seen Futurama. We know that attachments are available.
That's true.
Well, that's just it. We have seen. Yeah, and we have seen that head in a jar floating on a UFO body before. So, I'm sure that, if needed, there might be robotic arms and stuff that kick out. We'll have to see what happens in the future, right?
I got secrets. I'll wheel them out slowly. All right, should we let the stupid continue unless anyone else has anything?
No, let it go.
Rolling, get that stupid rolling.
Rolling. Fuck what?
Dead Kennedy can't talk.
We'll get that in a second.
That's funny.
In his fascinating book, British author Matthew Deleuze shows photos of strange alien reptiles, some with the bodies of apes and heads of lizards.
Light bulb shit.
These can be
Reptiles don't
found
have
on the
ape
walls
bodies.
of the Temple of Hathor at Dendera in Egypt. Here we see reptilian humanoid creatures alongside pharaohs and bird-headed beings.
Oh God.
Does this dude believe in minotaurs? How about centaurs?
Must.
Make the
How
bad
about any
man
ancient
stop.
animal how about any ancient mythical animal that's either two animals smushed together or an animal combined with a human?
Or unicorns.
Or unicorns. Like
I vote you.
Unicorns give dangerous head.
Oh, God.
They fart rainbows.
Why is it always reptilians, though? Why always reptilians? Whenever these conspiracies, yes, reptilians. Why? They'd be shit in winter in most places. The only place they're going to be good is in like warm countries. Why would reptilians ever want to come to the UK?
I don't think the theory reptilians existed before V was shown on TV.
Probably didn't.
it wouldn't surprise me if it didn't.
Can you imagine the reptilians invade Canada and it's getting towards winter? I don't know, man. Getting pretty sleepy here.
They all just fall asleep in the streets trying to invade everyone.
Yep, there you go.
I have an idea, though. I have a theory that it's always the reptilians because Satan was a snake in the Bible. So snakes have this kind of mischievous or not quite honest, or like they have some sort. They have a stigma attached to them. Reptiles do. That I
Makes
think
sense.
probably stems from the Bible.
Yeah, that actually makes sense, man.
It does.
Because I mean, aside from that, yeah, why reptiles? Why are reptiles evil? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
Jesus, have you seen some of the things monkeys do to each other?
Kinky fuckers.
Yeah, I've been to Bristol Zoo. I've seen the results of simian boredom.
Yeah. Flinging shit and jerking off at the same time. Oh,
everyone knows
It's a
about the
gift.
famous video of the poor frog.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
what? Oh, where did the poor frog end up?
Oh no.
Not where you'd expect a frog to be. The same
Use
places
that-
where a
use that
fish
to-
head ends up with a dolphin.
Oh,
Say
no,
a
you know
monkey-
what?
A monkey picked up a frog and used as a sleeve. Moving on.
Okay, yeah. Let's go back to the video.
Actually, can I do that super chat real quick?
Oh yeah. Okay, sorry.
That's okay. Thanks. It's from Anamorphic Mind for $2. He says hashtag Dead Kennedy can't dog. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah,
PS
Jesus.
controls on one module. I'm gonna get shit forever for it.
Yeah, monkey protuberances are no place for frogs. So let's move on. Fits like a glove, bitch.
Strange giant light bulbs, possibly some form of plasma beam weapon, can clearly be seen at the Temple of Hathor. Inside these
If it's a helicopter, I'm going to flip the table.
It's coming.
It looks like fucking water.
Yeah.
Where's your evidence that it's a plasma weapon? That looks like a stream of water. Or maybe it could be representative of the wind.
Or the serpent, or like so many different angles, and but they always point to those little pillars holding the light bulbs as if there's something to do with it. Although there's no like wires or connectors to go back to the conductive side of the bulb, if that was indeed like trying to infer that is a glass bulb with something inside. But that is what you see when you look at it with modern eyes from our perspective on the world. If you go back and think like somebody that comes from that time, that doesn't look like a light bulb because there wasn't any, fucking dumbass.
I like what Ash Scott said. You got to be some virgin shut in to see that and say light bulb and not veiny
On the
dick.
same
Yeah.
on the same point, if I showed that picture to my niece, she wouldn't call that a light bulb because she's probably never seen a light bulb with a filament in. They're all LEDs and freaking diode things now. So why would an advanced alien space race have a light bulb with a filament in?
It looks more like a squash or an eggplant.
It's a snake
Absolutely.
in a jar.
Aimee, you're buzzed in here. Was that for that super chat or is that something else?
No, there was another super chat.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I didn't see one. That's what I'm asking. Is there another one?
No. Okay. No,
no.
I'm sorry.
I was buzzed in. You said the
the
comment I was looking at, so you're all set.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, Ash Scott's comment. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
When two empty trains collide.
And you know what? Ash Scott and two people have said it now, so I think they may be right. What we're most likely looking at in that image is what is it? The spirit of life coming from a lotus flower.
Yeah, yeah, because if you look at the bottom of that bulby thing, it totally has the lotus flower look to the base, right? And as such, we definitely got something symbolic going on here. It is, after all, wall art. And, just like everybody along, if you go, what's that place? Chattelhoyuk. That's ancient site of humanity living together. And they had art in the walls. Right? So,
but
so
Dick,
what?
But Dick, nobody has ever drawn something that doesn't physically exist.
Right. That's right. Exactly. Right?
There has never been any abstract art ever.
No.
Well, we all know that Lucas really did build the Death Star, and then he sold it to NASA when he was done because he didn't need it.
Oh, yeah. Star Wars was all filmed on location.
Yeah, exactly.
So was the fake moon landings.
Yeah, well, Kubrick is the perfectionist, right? Now,
They could fucking make these drawings with any kind of real detail. It's not like they were using brushes; they were painting with a fucking chisel.
yeah. Right?
Yeah, we kind of have technology to make drawing really easy in this day and age.
No doubt. And, some people say, well, look at that thing underneath the bulb looking part. It clearly looks like an some sort of electronic transformer on a pole thing or whatever, but it actually looks more like the coilover shock to a sports car. So, sorry, I'm not buying it. I think this is actually the first depiction of true independent rear end suspension. That's what we're looking at.
Look, you know what? I think it's obvious. The space roaster that Elon Musk sent into space, it hit a wormhole and came back to Earth in the past. And landed in Egypt.
And they figured that shit out, man. Oh yeah.
Should we let it keep going?
Can you imagine the poor Egyptians, though? We're just not getting any updates on this car. What's going on here? Oh, that would have been a letdown.
Yeah. Does a Tesla Roadster work in the past?
Yeah.
With all the infrastructure.
That's when he needed to make the light bulbs to replace the lights in it after discovering electricity, but not telling everyone with the Baghdad batteries.
So this is a depiction of an auto garage. That's what's going on. They're just updating the Tesla.
That kind of reminds me now of I can't believe I've never really thought of this before, but you ever heard of those videos supposedly of people in the past holding modern technology? Of there's like a Charlie Chaplin movie where supposedly a woman walks by holding a smartphone.
Yeah.
And it never really occurred to me. I was like, let's say, for instance, that it is. Where's she getting a signal from?
Yeah, exactly. It makes no sense, right?
Like
it's coming from the reptilian base on the moon.
I thought the Nazis had the base on the moon.
Well, they're on the dark side.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're at war with reptilians.
Nikki Daly's got an awesome one. How many Baghdad batteries would it take to charge a Tesla?
That's good. I like that.
That's a funny one.
Should we let the stupid keep going a little?
Yeah, I've laughed enough. I can go in for more now. That's okay.
Yeah, better not be a helicopter.
Strange devices, there are serpents. This is possibly a pictorial message that this alien plasma technology was given to the elite of ancient Egypt by a serpent or reptilian race of aliens.
I just need to point out that all of that, everything he just said, was prefaced by possibly.
Yeah.
Everything. And that is a big ask, my dude. That is a bigger ask than when you watch Battlefield Earth and the movie expects you to believe that cavemen can fly fighter jets.
No, that's a bigger ass than Battlefield Earth and expecting humanity to sit through that fucking movie.
No, you know what? That movie is watchable as hell. That movie is so terrible that it comes back around to being entertaining again.
You're not wrong, actually. It's true. I will admit to a guilty pleasure in it because there's some moments where you just sit there laughing your head off, and yet it's serious. It's hilarious.
It's like watching a car wreck as you go by.
Oh yeah,
pull your eyes away from it.
Yeah, it's a movie you rubberneck because you can't believe it, right?
Yeah,
it's like watching a car crash in slow motion because you're sitting there knowing what's going wrong and going, no, why aren't you doing it this way? Everything would be fine. Oh no, you ruined it.
Yeah.
I have never seen that movie, and for the first time, you're making me want to watch it.
Watch it.
It's worth watching at least once in your life. But we got some catching up to do. Aimee, we had a super chat, right?
Yes, please. We did. We had from Mr. Present 99 for €10. He says, stream and no notification. Sometimes I hate YouTube. What did I miss? Conspiracy theories? Idiots? Business as usual. I see DKIS. I blame you. This is Stargate, obviously. Jaffa Cray. He says. Cree, sorry, whatever it is. I don't watch this stuff.
And Amy, that was the closest you've ever come to being like, whatever, nerds.
It's coming.
And if I can say his name, or if I can say his name in the Canadian way of pronouncing it, it's Mr. President Gretzky.
Sarcastic Barman, you had something to add, right?
Oh, what the hell was I going to say now? Oh, crap. I'm just laughing so much. It was to do with the chest. I think I buzzed it just as he was coming up with the chest that was on the screen before you called pause and saying, yes, this solid granite chest. How can it be cut? Was it lasers? No, it's a dude with a rock for about 4 or 5 years being paid lots of money and bread and alcohol to sit there and do it. And that's about it. How is these? I hate when these bloody videos go, how can they do this without modern technology? Time and someone who's not a lazy fuck.
I always have two answers to those questions. Anytime someone questions ancient Egyptian technology and says, how did they do this? My answer is always time and an endless supply of slave labor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not like aliens are running a galactic rental center and they're just flying around the galaxy. Oh, here, we've got a better tool to cut rock than that. Let me show you. What the
fuck? Oh, God. Cy Allen just said he knows a guy that named his kid Teal'c.
Oh, God.
No way.
Terrible. That's terrible.
Indeed.
As bad as
What was that, Jeff?
It's almost as bad as Zappa calling his kid Moon Unit.
Yeah, Moon Unit. What the hell, buddy?
Some of them are bad. Like, didn't Michael Jackson have a kid named like Blanket?
Yep.
Yes.
Jackson had a kid? I thought he was reptilian.
Well,
Jackson had an egg.
Kid.
Yeah.
But Thor Jackson had an egg.
Hasn't some celebrity called their kid Apple and Orange and just stupid names?
It sounds like something Gwyneth Paltrow would do.
Has a candle that smells like her vag. That's kind of Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, I knew it would be her. I knew it.
Yeah,
Me, man.
You guys don't know that's a real thing.
It's a real thing. Yeah.
What Amy was referring to that I don't want to repeat.
No, it's it smells like her private parts, and it's real. She sells it on her website.
Yeah, that's why they sell cotton to cover that shit up, so you don't have to share the stench. All right, there's a reason. Holy fuck.
Well, Dark Knight Apologetics. I can't fault them for that. There was also a celeb that named their kid River. River Phoenix was a great celebrity. So
yeah,
it's not a bad name.
It's odd though.
Not a terrible name. It's odd, but it's not that awful.
Yeah.
No, it's not as bad as naming a kid after a fruit like apple.
Right. Have you ever seen that wonderful woman who she's complaining about names that she doesn't like, and she's saying like, I don't like names that are named after geographical locations, and the host of the show just looks at her and goes, your child's called India.
Yes, that was that's that stupid British bitch who's racist and annoying and fucking I hate her.
Oh my god!
Name now.
Katie Hopkins.
My name is
Katie Hopkins.
The one.
What was that, Steamy Cup?
My name is not Christine. It's cannabis.
Didn't Kanye West and Kim Kardashian call their kids something stupid like North?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
His name was Northwest.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It
Northwest.
was like a shipping forecast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, Light Breeze, you want to come over here? Yeah, buddy.
Come on, Grapple.
I think John Rapp got a super chat in, and I think he's picking on me here. So, John Rapp, Australian $2. By the way, Stargate is the best sci-fi series ever. And then it says DD, like Dick Dawson, ? And no, I haven't fucking watched it yet. Damn it.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Next gen's pretty fantastic.
Next gen, what do you mean?
Stargate, Star Trek: The Next Generation or Stargate SG-1, I would say, are definitely in my top sci-fi shows.
Right.
Yeah, like the last 2 or 3 series of Deep Space Nine where they have wars. It's like, yay, space battles. But only the space battle episodes.
I'm gonna get very controversial here, but I absolutely loved Babylon 5.
Yeah. Don Giovanni's just agreed with you there.
Yeah, Don Giovanni just agreed with you, and I was gonna get controversial and say I hate Babylon 5.
Oh my god, really?
I never watched it. No idea.
Lex,
We also have
Firefly.
another super chat from Mr. Victory for $1.99. He says it smells worse than a Del Cow in July. No.
No.
That was perfect.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, Mr. Victory. Good call,
Thank
buddy.
you so
Good call.
much.
Ash Scott, you're making a lot of good points, but we could talk about this forever. So I think we need to go back to the video.
Yeah. I was just gonna say this is gonna turn into its own thing really quick.
It's like what happened to the end of my celebration stream.
Like the Antikythera mechanism from ancient Greece and the Baghdad battery, this plasma technology was a closely guarded secret technology reserved for the
My fucking
was not
God.
a closely guarded secret technology. It was an ancient clock.
Plus,
A
there was
really,
a friggin' jar.
a really cool clock for its time, but it was just a clock.
Plus, I thought I saw a jar in there too that floated by, and apparently that was also ancient technology. That's really shouldn't have existed. Apparently,
Was that referring to the batteries, the Baghdad batteries?
could have been.
Yeah, I think so.
But I think so.
Because they sort of look like pottery jars, don't they? I haven't looked them up.
They
in
do.
years.
Yeah, it looks like a jar in that picture there. Mr. Present 99 gave us a super chat too for €10. He says the actual current theory, and mostly proven by the way, is that the pyramids weren't built by slaves. It was a real big project with paid labor, and they found remnants of a small city there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
National
Very much
project
so.
similar to building of Hoover Dam and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And actually, apparently, a portion of their wages they were paid in onions.
Well, probably pretty valuable at the time.
I would have thought so.
Yeah.
Purple rhymes with orange. The jar floating by was Dead Kennedy.
Yeah. Well, relative. Yeah. A few
Back when I was in
few
ancient
generations
Egypt,
back.
Yeah, they kept me in a pottery jar.
Oh God.
Too funny. Well, at this point, I do think that we better get a little bit of voting towards the gong going.
Yay!
I think that's a good call. There have been people saying, kill this idiocy.
Yeah. So, Buzz In is working somewhat close to nil. So what we'll do is in the chat, if you want this video to keep going, put a 1. And if you want to vote to gong it off, put a 2. And Tatty will somehow pretend to keep count like it matters, and then we'll hit the button coming up.
I'm doing lots of twos. Oh,
Yep.
shit.
That's a lot of 2s.
I don't see any ones.
I've seen 1-1. Insitter.
Yeah.
1-1.
Play that funky music, white boy.
German.
Oh, we got a massive gong vote going here.
33.
I've seen ones all the way here.
Oh, God.
333.
You must be hammered. There we go.
Boom.
Colon says, "Oh damn!" Just when it was getting good. 3.14.
Yeah.
Intellectual
I'm surprised an A didn't do
33 to the power of 3.
666. Yeah.
I think I might have figured out how they started this video with the spherical UFOs. It's a fucking rock they were throwing at you while they're calling you moron.
That's funny. So what do you think, everybody? Next one?
Oh, God. It better not be as stupid as this one.
Well, the title is...
Barman, have you seen our show?
Yeah.
Have you met me?
Sorry, I'm just getting the clamps out for my nipples. It'll keep me alive while I watch this.
If that last one was anything to go by, I need another pint of McEwen's to get me through this one.
Oh, this is... Yeah. The title is... we have a member, Mr. Present 99. Welcome to the family. Awesome. Thank you so much. Glad to have you. That's excellent.
That.
Yeah, very much. And we've got cosmic disclosure inside alien craft.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
God.
Yeah, so
this is apparently season 8, episode 7.
oh god, that makes it even worse.
And we all know no good show.
Today on Cosmic Disclosure, we have Sergeant Clifford Stone, ex-military person who has been involved with extraterrestrials. Sergeant Stone, welcome to the show today.
Thank you, sir. Once again, it's my great pleasure to be here.
In your experience, have you ever been exposed to the inside of an extraterrestrial craft?
There were times that I had to go inside the craft itself.
Now,
You've got to be
I
kidding me.
bet he'll say, yes, I've been inside an alien spacecraft. I've seen the controls. I know how they work, but I've never seen any pictures. I've got no evidence of this. And I'm not very, unfortunately, an old gentleman who may be after a bit of extra money to do the interview and things like that. And because no one can check up my facts, then no one can check up my facts. Mwah! The fact that if he had been in an alien spacecraft and it was a big top secret, he would have never made it to the goddamn studio. He would have either died from a heart attack or mysteriously disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus wept.
And he does not display any of the personality characteristics you would expect somebody to have to be one of the trusted people that's up front, close and center with a craft from another race, another planet, right? He's all, just subdued and whatnot. And, you would expect a little bit more of a discipline like... you know what I'm going for? He doesn't come across as somebody who should be anywhere close to anything like that. Not even with a broom.
Well, my biggest problem is if he's supposedly divulging secret information, why is he showing his face and using his real voice?
Yeah.
Why does he still exist? Why are there 2 petitions on change.org to remove all episodes of Cosmic Disclosure from Gaia.com? Why are there so many angry people who have caught this guy lying a lot?
Oh, that's hilarious. Good.
Always go after the ignorant farmers.
Yeah, I mean, this really is 20 pounds of shit in a 10-pound bag. Because I've worked for 2 companies where I've had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, And in one of them, I made bug traps. Okay? Bug traps. There were no aliens involved. There were no alien spaceships involved. If this guy had ever been anywhere near a real alien spaceship, nobody would ever have heard his name.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no way, man. Just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's all way too shiny and produced to be in any way real.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And we did get a super chat from Mr. Victory for $1.99. He says it's a derp staring contest. Thank you, Mr. Victory.
Yeah. If we go back to seeing them both on the screen and you were to caption it, my caption would be, I don't know, which one do you think is the queen?
Hey, Conspiracy Cats is in the chat.
Hey, Cats, how are you?
He quite enjoyed the 20 pounds of shit in the 10-pound bag comment. Well,
all right, Teddy, let's roll some more of this stupid.
Now that we've basically dismantled it before this old man has spoke.
What was that like?
This time before we...
It was scary. You never knew what to expect. No two events were exactly identical, and you never knew what to look for. I'd have to go in, and from time to time, the guy I always called the colonel would have me doing things. I wasn't a mechanic. I had no technical knowledge of anything. And one thing I want to make clear from the get-go, in each instance, every craft we went into, because on sci-fi movies, it looks like they hadn't been doing their house cleaning. They were they were like clinically clean, like you were in a surgical room. They didn't have cobwebs, things of this sort. But the situation is that you go in there and you've just entered another reality. I mean, here it is, we have a craft, 35 foot diameter on the outside. This would have been in 1986, I believe. We went in, and and there were several instances like this, but it never ceases to amaze you. 35 foot diameter on the outside. And you're awed when you go in there because you're thinking, okay, something's not right here. Because it looks much bigger on the inside, but how can that be? It's only 35 foot.
No, pause. You are not pulling TARDIS shit out of nowhere, old man. Come on.
I just love the
this
fact
guy is he's making it up as he goes along without any shadow of a doubt.
Oh, hell yeah.
He already let us know in no if and way or but sort of way that he has no knowledge of any kind to deserve to be there. So why was he there?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Yeah, did the aliens have toilets that needed to be cleaned or something? Why the fuck was this guy there?
Well, that's just it. Like, if you're talking about an alien craft, even the toilet cleaner is going to be well qualified.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If they've got the technology to travel hundreds, thousands of light years across the galaxy to get to us, they're going to have self-cleaning toilets.
Yeah. And they're not just going to crash every time they buzz on by. Oh, shit, we lost another one. Like, really? Fuck, man. Come on.
What this guy has done, this guy has seen the money that is being made by some of the people who've allied themselves to the whole Roswell thing. There are people who are eating out on the whole the whole conference circuit, and he's thinking, yeah, I'll have some of that. U.S. military, they don't pay that well. His pension's probably not brilliant. Jump in. What are they going to do? They're going to sack him? No, they're not. He's already retired. Hard lines.
Yeah. He sees himself as the Daniken of the hands-on with the craft side of the whole affair, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, this guy is well. I'm trying not to get angry here because this stuff, it just resonates so much with the whole Roswell thing, which I have read so much about and looked so much into, and from top to bottom, essentially, it's bullshit. And this is just trying to leech off it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Glober Mom pointed out, like, not saying he isn't, but why would him wearing a Vietnam veteran hat matter in this interview? And not to mention, Vietnam is well before 1986 when he's talking about. And like I pointed out, yeah, he's not silhouetted. His voice isn't changing. Nothing about this feels real. And it actually bothers me because it almost borders on stolen valor. You know, he may actually be a veteran, but if you're then going to lie about your military service, I don't like you. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, exactly. This guy, though, like, seriously, if he was really somebody that was actually at a ship and he was sitting there talking to this guy like this, within 5 minutes there'd be a red dot just floating around in his forehead. Man, come on.
That's true.
He wouldn't have even got this far. He would never have got this far if he was that involved in such a deep operation. Let's presume that they did have an alien craft. If he was involved in anything like that, the psychological evaluations of that man before he was let within 1,000 yards of it would have been so off the scale that civilians wouldn't even believe it. There is no way this man went anywhere near an alien ship.
Absolutely. And nothing in the way he's telling it rings true to me. Like, I've been watching him for body language to see if he's like continuously looking away from the interviewer, which I wouldn't blame him for, because is it just me or is the interviewer fucking terrifying?
Yeah, he's a reptilian.
And I haven't penis with ears.
I haven't really seen any like outwardly deceptive body language, but something about his tone of voice and the way he's talking about it doesn't sound like a true story. It doesn't sound like an experience he really had.
No.
He seems like a very good liar.
Oh, he's lying right now, just like every time when he tells the story of how he lost his virginity. It's, same thing.
Hotel in Mexico and a bottle of Crisco, the way every man should.
Yeah. When he woke up with Jason and Fred, he was a little nervous, but it went well, so he was all right with it.
He wasn't too sore, and there wasn't poo in many places.
I only bled for 2 days. It was worth it.
Just to answer Mippet 69, wasn't there some dude who worked at Area 51 that came out? I think you're thinking of Bob Lazar. He was a famous conspiracy theorist who allegedly worked for Area 51, and there's a lot of uncertainty about if he did, or even if he did, what he did there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The government must love it. Go ahead.
I was going to say, are any of you familiar with a guy called Phil Schneider?
I don't think so.
No.
Phil Schneider, again, the similarities between this guy and Phil Schneider are shocking. Phil Schneider was supposedly working at Dulce Air Base. I think it's outside of Dallas. I'm not sure. Might be wrong. Apparently, he was just a contractor there. They were working in a lift shaft. Lift doors open one day. They were on the wrong floor. They were aliens. An underground base at Dulce. There was a big firefight. Marines came in, rescued him. He lost 3 fingers on one hand, got scars on his stomach. And the guy then, for the rest of his life, continued to eat out on this story, doing all these various UFO symposiums, a bit like Comic-Con, really, because nothing's real. This guy comes over exactly the same way as when you see interviews of Phil Schneider. He's just sat there, expressionless, and he's just propagating a narration. It's a script that he's got in his head, and he's making a couple of dollars off it. That's all this is.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
That's probably all it ever is.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you wanted to, it's like pension padding, right?
Exactly. That's what he's doing.
Absolutely. Aimee, you're buzzed in here. Did I miss you? Was that something you already got, or?
No, I have a super chat if I can.
okay. Go ahead.
Thank you. That's okay. From Mr. Victory for $1.99, he said it was scary. I see aliens doing the locomotion. Thank you so much, Mr. Victory.
Oh, that's a good one. So, shall we see what happens after the craft crashes here? Oh, no, that's right. That's not how it goes. That's actually would have been better to watch, but...
Shall we let the old man lie some more?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Diameter on the outside. It couldn't be any bigger than that. And it definitely couldn't be bigger than that on the inside. But when you go in, I can explain it now, but it's hard for people to understand. It was hard for me to understand when I first heard about it. But then you'd go ahead and look up, because I mean, you know, it was only maybe, 12 feet high, things of this sort. Yet, here it is. This was maybe, I don't know, 40, 50 foot tall on the inside. And I'm wondering, how can this be? So we would go ahead and measure that. The interesting thing, you saw no lights, but it was perfectly bright on the inside. Not overlit, not...
No. Just no. I don't care how advanced aliens are. We know how light works, and that's not how it works.
I want to know. I want to know who adjusted his hat so it fits his head, because he's not smart enough to have done it. You know, there's no way.
It's an alien hat. It's self-adjusting.
Colon says, did he fall asleep watching a Dark Skies episode and woke up to Doctor Who?
Yeah.
No, honestly, right? I mean, you know how much I've read about this subject. This has been one of my main subjects, is this alien thing, for many, many years. And what he's doing, he is simply regurgitating old, inverted commas, facts. The number of people who claim to have been inside these alien ships, and they all say there was no sign of where the light came from, but everything was lit up. So yeah, you were 1,000 other people who were trying to make a couple of bucks out of a column on it.
Yeah. And it's just every sci-fi set ever, right? Where you see an alien spaceship and there doesn't appear to be any lights on it, but clever stage lighting illuminates everything in the room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly. I think in the television business they call it diva lighting. And it makes you look good, but you can't see where it's coming from.
But I want to point out, because Mippet69 was asking about Bob Lazar. DKG Customs said Lazar positively identified a photo of a secret, quote, hand scanner, which turned out to be a prop from Close Encounters.
Oh, God.
That's funny.
We've got Logical Troglodyte has just mentioned, because unfortunately he couldn't be here for all of this. As far as body language goes, long direct eye contact without eye movements across the face is usually indicative of lying. He's trying to see if the interviewer is buying the bullshit.
I was getting that impression throughout this last bit, because there was a lot of filler words, there was a lot of ums, there was a lot of pauses, so he could think up information that he hadn't filled in yet.
Yeah, and he still didn't give much. I mean, it took forever for him to say, yeah, it was crazy. It's like 35 feet across on the outside, maybe 30 feet high, and you go inside and it's twice as big. Holy shit,
the fact we went down some stairs into another room to start with. We were actually 60 foot underground.
You know, and I mean, it would be very easy to make it look bigger if you were just in some sort of like Halloween room mirror thing and, you know, forgot that you had dropped acid first and woke up thinking that you had been in an alien ship. Or no, that's right. You decided to lie.
Well, no, he did say it was the 80s. So when did the 70s, start of the 80s, all the drugs? I'm just saying he was fucked.
He talks like it.
I'm gonna take a shower now.
Should we let them babble anymore? Should we get the vote started?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
We'll let.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, let's start the vote and then start the video.
That's a good idea.
All right. So 1 to keep playing, 2 to vote them off.
Underlit.
Play a little more.
You had no problem seeing. But then, here it is. Remember, we're working, and I have to stress this, 30, 35 foot in diameter. But then you have like ladders that go up on several levels, maybe I think 3. I'm going to say 3. It could have been more, but at least three levels. Then you'd have little walkways there, and you'd have compartments there that people or entities. I'm sorry, I still consider them to be people within their own right that would go in there.
I'm so angry. All these filler words. It keeps saying like, and it's like, no, you're describing something that no one's ever seen before. We don't know.
I'm wondering why these advanced aliens that can make a fucking space bigger in a space of TARDIS would need a fucking ladder and not just be able to float with their mind or electromagnetic levitation or something, or a fucking elevator.
And Cheesemondo's pointing out he may have just contradicted himself with the internal dimensions of it.
Probably.
Look at him. He looks like an old hound dog that just wants a cookie.
I don't think it's a cookie he wants. He needs his bag changing.
He looks like that guy that I met at a train station.
There it goes.
He looks like a guy I met at a train station once who just wandered around the entire time, desperate for attention from anybody, because it was clear that nobody talked to this man in his day-to-day, and he spent the whole night like giggling and waving at these two college girls who we referred to as those 2 Welsh girls because he thought they looked Welsh.
That sounds like me on a Friday night, to be fair.
You can tell. You can always tell a Welsh girl. She's got a bag of chips in her hand.
The funny thing was, they were just like Canadian girls from Sudbury. If they were Welsh, it was in their ancestry. They were definitely like born in the country.
Do you know how to tell if a Welsh girl has had an orgasm?
Oh God, boy.
She drops her pie.
Oh, geez.
I am the otter of my own 2 feet has a good comment. He says this guy is only in it for the anal probes.
Oh, God.
It's that smooth alloy they use.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Fucking hell.
Just got that image of the guys in Independence Day who make fun of Randy Quaid, and they're on the news going, the aliens did things to him.
Yeah.
Sexual
things. Yeah.
Maybe this is Randy Quaid 20 years later. Let himself go.
Well, yeah, that's pretty
Quaid
close,
now.
actually, though. Like he kind of lost it. He was hiding out in a Canadian trailer park for a while, trying to say that the American government were chasing him and wanted him and blah blah. Like he lost his shit for a bit.
There was a really fascinating month where all he had to watch was a DVD of Chips, and he was live tweeting his commentary of Chips.
That's
I need to spend more time on the internet if there's shit like that out there.
Yeah.
Mr. Victory says, are Canadian girls like California girls with beer?
Yeah, exactly. They bring their own beer. That's too funny. Well, it got gonged. Anybody want to wrap up on whatever the fuck that was?
I could speak for about 3 hours on this. I really could.
I feel like I just got hit in the head. Fuck.
Carl Sagan filmed Cosmos on a real UFO. I was going to lose my shit.
All hail the Sagan.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy shit, Barman, that's Randy Quaid.
That's fucking
Yeah,
Randy
man.
Quaid.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
him, man. Tatty, can you grab that from the green room and bring it up? Because this is what I was talking about. Dude lost his shit, man. Like
That is a long, long fall from the shitter being full on Christmas morning.
Oh, hell yeah.
oh yeah.
Just doesn't look. I had to double check that was the right person. I was like, the fuck? I've put Randy Quaid in Google. Yes, I have.
I didn't know who, like, you posted that picture and I was like, what is this, some like random conspiracy theorist dude? Oh my God, that's Randy Quaid.
Yeah.
He does look like he should be a random conspiracy dude or the drunk guy sat on the park bench waiting for Christmas so he can dress up as Santa Claus again.
Yeah, he looks like he's dressed for a role, but at this point he was just breaking down, man.
Yeah.
It's
just sad.
It's something else. Tatty,
So have you seen those pictures of Jim Carrey when he lost it for a while? Probably the late 90s when he went all Alex Jones and a bit kind of alien conspiracy shit. It's like, holy dog shit. How long have you been up in the woods?
Yeah, he really went off for a while.
He did. With his big beard. Yeah, see, everyone's waiting to see. Where is he? Where is he?
Yeah. We'll just bring it up quick and then, you know.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but it's
something being annoying, I can tell.
So you find with a lot of these people who, you know, claim to have been involved with aliens and alien science conspiracies, you can always draw a parallel with Roswell. Always, because that was nothing. It was a story. It was printed. It died, and then it was dug up again in '78, and then a book was brought out. I think it was about 1991 about a crash at Roswell, and then somebody thought, "Oh, hello, there's legs in this. We'll make some money." So a couple of other people brought another book out a few years later, and then the first people brought another book out to counter that, and it just snowballed from there. And that's holy shit!
Well, do you ever see?
My word!
I'm sure there was a movie out in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it was like one of these mockumentary, fake, filmy things of the guys who made the alien autopsy video and how they pirated it and things like that. And because obviously they said, yes, there's an alien autopsy. And these were apparently the guys that made the video, and it was all a comedy film video of it. I'll see if I can find the fecker because that was
it was a great video. It was very well made. But yeah, it was a production.
Yeah, it was exceptionally well made because there's a friend of mine who I work with when we're not locked down. He actually worked on his very first job was working, and he took a look at the alien autopsy video, and he said that whoever made that had at the time about £400,000 to spend on it. He said it was certainly fake. It was certainly fake. It was very well done. It cost about 400,000. So whoever made it for a very good reason in their own mind.
Wow, interesting.
Mr. Victory, that's Randy Quaid auditioning for Back to the Future 4, National Lampoon's Vacation Through Time.
That's a good one. Yeah, he kind of looks like he'd be related to Flat Earth Aussie Jesus too. That's a good point. Somebody just said it there.
Second, maybe that's why my brain went to, is that some random conspiracy theorist when I saw it? He totally looks a bit like Flat Earth Aussie Jesus.
Yeah, if Flat Earth Aussie Jesus came in contact with like Casper the Friendly Ghost, that's what he'd look like after, right?
And if he ate a little too healthy for a couple years,
or just ate
and didn't just drink.
Yeah.
The frightening thing is that when I'm looking at that photograph, I am probably looking at me in 40 years.
I'll tell you, there was a day I went to a science center in Toronto once that had this machine. You could just do this with an app now, but at the time, this was like a big machine that would take a picture of you and then show you what you would look like in, I think it was like 40 years. I looked exactly like my grandfather. Like,
oh wow,
to a frightening point. I just looked at it. I was like, that's Papa right there. but it's me.
Are you sure sure he wasn't just there and on the other side of the screen and it was a gag? Maybe you should actually ask your dad.
That would have been great if all that time he was right there.
I've had exactly the same experience. Have you seen that app that you can get that ages you? It was very big about 6 months ago. Everybody was posting stuff, and so I'm not one for apps, but somebody in work said, "Oh, come on, let me do it." So I did it, and honestly, it was my grandfather. There's no two ways about it. It was my grandfather.
Wow.
Oh man.
Hey, conspiracy cats. I use that app. In 40 years, I look like Morgan Freeman. Every time I deliver a fact to somebody, I get another mole. South Park.
And now back to Morgan Freeman in The Narrator. Ever since I was a little boy.
Sorry. That's a good one. Should we try the next one then?
Yay, more stupid.
What do we got?
We got post-disclosure world. What do aliens have planned for humanity?
Nothing.
Oh my God.
It's just like, even in the title, it's all fear, you know? It's all designed to make aliens these like malevolent, domineering things instead of just like, you know, what if aliens just show up and they weren't expecting to find us? They just land and there's people everywhere and they're like, what the fuck? What are these?
Yeah.
If there were fucking aliens with the brains and technology to travel across the fucking galaxy and find us, we'd be nothing but the fucking ants crawling all over a piece of cheese that they want.
Yeah, and they'd come along and they'd release a virus in the most densely populated country that would quickly spread around the world. And within 6 months, hang on, shit.
The real letdown here is aliens, if we ever do encounter them, are probably just bacteria that were stuck in a rock. I mean, come on.
Haven't they found like impressions of germs on Mars? Have they not?
Well, like that was a maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. Because I remember that years ago and then nothing seemed to come of it. So,
right.
Yeah. Were they very, very similar to that, the Allen Hills meteorite that was found that allegedly had fossilized bacterium in it?
Yeah.
Very, very similar to that.
Yeah.
But there's no general consensus on it because there is more than just a small group who say, no, it's just, you know, happens to look like it, but it isn't. And that's a tough one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no... The thing is, you got to look at is the only planet we know is our planet. Every other planet in the universe will have a different chemical composition. It will have different biology. So they are, if there are bacterium that make it here on a rock, there is every chance that we wouldn't recognize it as anything to do with life anyway.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it could be like, because we can basically only imagine an extent of iterations of carbon-based life. And there's possibilities for ammonia-based life. There's all kinds of shit out there.
There's also lifespan to consider. Things that live on such a grand, long lifespan to us wouldn't even be seen to be moving or anything. But, you know, to them, we would just come and go in a blink of an eye like an explosion. It'd just be over, done. So, you know, there's so many considerations that would make it almost impossible to even know it was there.
Yeah, absolutely. But
exactly. Do you remember that? There was a story a couple of months ago. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I said there was a story came out a couple of months ago, and might be more than 6 months ago actually, about a clam that was found, I think, off the coast of California. And you can date a clam much like you can date a tree. You can count the rings in its shell, and it was it originated something like 1460 or something. And we all think, my word, what an enormous lifespan, 1460 to now. And the only reason they found out it was that old is because they killed it to find out it was that old.
Yeah. I remember that being the meme that went around was scientists kill oldest thing ever trying to figure out how old it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Nikki Daly, am I saying pet rocks could actually exist? Yeah, I guess you never know, right? It could turn out to be like Outer Limits, and you put that pet rock in an aquarium, and soon you've got warring species, and that could be crazy stuff, right?
That Genesis tub.
Yeah.
What they did on The Simpsons.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's actually one of my favorite Simpsons jokes ever, is when Lisa checks in on her little civilization and she looks down and one of them is nailing something to the cathedral door and she looks up and she goes, I've created Lutherans.
Yeah, that's a really good one. That's funny.
Almost as much fun as owning sea monkeys.
Yeah.
Simpsons did it.
So what do you guys think? Should we play a little bit of this? I don't even remember what it was now. Should I go back and look again? Oh, why did I ask?
Aliens plans for us.
Yeah, I still think ham. I still think it's ham. That's something,
That book that Kang and Kodos had, How to Cook for 40 Humans.
Yeah.
4 humans.
Yeah, if it's ham, can I ask right now for Havarti? I like Havarti, sharp mustard. Anyway, okay, yeah.
Dijon, please.
Yeah. Play the ham then. Let's play the ham. I mean the video.
On November 5th, 1975, Travis Walton was in close proximity to a flying saucer that ultimately shot at him some kind of blue laser. That energy discharge nearly took his life.
I love that go.
Even the guy from the last video still looks surprised.
Now, not to gloss over the second coming or anything, right? I can't even do it.
Hey, there goes Jesus. Come on, dude, let's party.
Jesus will hook us up with all the wine we can drink.
I was just gonna say, man, if it really is the second coming, I've got a tap here. I'm gonna run it and start filling receptacles. You get your punk ass over here and start touching, all right? Because I need the wine.
Oh man!
Ugly German truths, couch potato Jesus.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, that's
Feel Jesus,
funny.
he was back. Hey, Feel Jesus and you, are we ever going to have a debate? You've been running from me for months now, getting tired. Aimee.
Oh, yes, please.
Right?
Yes, I want to get that super chat real fast. Mr. Victory for $1.99. He says Dell's pet rock is actually a cow pie.
Oh, good one. I want to say to Feel Jesus in you, if this is your man, I don't want him in me. Fuck, are you kidding, buddy? Come on.
Yeah, I'm sorry, not interested.
I doubt it. Looks like he just
came in right away. I'm praying for all of you. Once you realize that NASA can curve what you see. Wait, I didn't read that.
No.
What?
Tell you what, pray for me. All your prayers for me. Because fuck knows where I'm going. I'll fucking need them. Leave the rest of the folks alone. You worry about me, son. Pray for me. And I'll do fuck all about it.
Stop the blasphemy. Excuse me, Jesus was a pansexual non-binary. Let me just hit everything to annoy every funny that I can.
I mean, look at this guy on the screen. He's the kind of guy who would, dump out his box of Smarties and lose a whole bunch because, no, I'll just.
Here's the interesting thing. I pray for all of you. You mostly hate God, like all I assume you're athletes, not athletes.
Athletes hate God.
Also, no.
I cannot hate which does not exist.
Precisely.
Exactly. There is no God thing.
Well, Dark Knight Apologetics says, the real Jesus wouldn't look like the paintings. And, and that's a true fact. I mean, the real Jesus wouldn't look like Kurt Cobain.
They
The
did
real
that pretty
Jesus
accurate.
would probably look like
right?
a kebab shop owner from Coventry.
Yeah.
Well, they did that pretty accurate reconstruction of him, right? He just looks like basically any Arabic dude.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And we
that
did
was... Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just had a super chat from John Rapp for $2 Australian. He says, "By the way, Kevin, how's the new book coming along?" Shill. He wants me to shill it, I think.
Well, thank you for asking. I am working on a new book. It's called Avalon Black. It's a sci-fi novel. I'm hoping to have it out as soon as possible. I should have had it done by now, but I've been lazy. Well, no, I haven't been lazy. Shit's been crazy, but I'm working on it, and I'll try to get it out within a couple months at the most.
Well, I hope you've got some God-hating athletes in it.
And feel Jesus in you, I am. I'm going to do that right now, and I guarantee you, I'm not going to find what you want me to find.
Yeah, I'm writing a book. It's called Jesus Christ, and it's the story of a starfaring, swashbuckling guy with a gun that goes and takes care of problems for people that really need them, if you can find them. That is. Here we go.
Okay, so
just
really quickly, so that you know your constant, endless, droning, dogmatic message of Google photon manipulation doesn't tell people anything. The first thing you will find is an entry on the Superpower Wiki fandom. The second thing you will find is various links to places that are attempting to manipulate light, and it's just papers on how they propose to do so. Yeah, we know people are working on photon manipulation. Has anybody seen those pretty damn close to invisibility cloaks that the military's come up with?
Yeah,
I remember watching Tomorrow's World, and they were trying to talk and trying to figure out how they can do that shit. And that was Tomorrow's World, and that was like, God, 20 odd years ago. They've been doing this shit forever.
I bought one on Wish.com, but it doesn't work.
It does. You just couldn't find it in the box. We had this conversation. You opened the box and said, "There's nothing in it." I was like, "Yeah, you need to find it."
I thought I got ripped off. I sent it back. Damn it. Oh God. Okay. What was the video? Oh yeah, right. So
Jesus is going to tell us about something. I don't know what.
Well, we already got gonged there. Should we let our Lord and Savior just say one thing before we, shove his punk ass back into the Roman era?
Sure.
I want to see Happy Jesus, the punter's friend.
I didn't hear anything he said because I was immediately shocked by his appearance.
I was just wondering if Jesus was going to bring me a kebab. And then I realized
he looks like he's auditioning to be on that 70s show. Fuck,
Feel Jesus in you. No, I am not denying that photons can be curved by manipulation. In fact, if you listen a little more closely, I just said they've been working on that for years. What's your point? You are still running away from debating me. Till you say anything about that, I will not speak to you further.
Yeah, I mean, we know we can curve photons in space with big gravity and whatnot because gravitational lensing is a thing, and we can actually account for it and reconstruct what shit is supposed to look like. It's just that we don't have, a galaxy on hand. So it's a little bit difficult. Give us a moment,
I can make things look curved when they are flat. Irrelevant. I don't care what I see from the ground. I know space exists. Why? Because we have photos of it.
All you have to do is watch Stephen Hawking's Genius, where he takes 3 people and they go and prove scientific facts in cool ways, and he takes 3 people out onto a big lake. I've got the episode. I'll gladly share it with anybody that wants to watch. And He takes 3 people out onto a lake with a cool laser, and they take a boat and they go further and further and further out on the lake, and the laser goes up and up and up. And when they finally get really far across the lake, they can't see the boat anymore. So they bring in a helicopter and show that across the lake is 24 feet. That the helicopter has to be in the air before the laser can be touch the helicopter. And then they do the math and they figured out the circumference of the Earth. Boom, done. Hands-on science proves it. And they were 3 normal people that had no idea what they were doing until they went, wow, we just measured the circumference of the Earth. Holy shit. It was really cool.
But I know people have said this before, but that's interesting.
Yeah. But it was really cool, and you can do it. Like, you can do Eratosthenes' thing yourself. Take a stick when the sun's straight overhead, and then at the same time of day, another day, obviously, you do it in a different location, and you can see the difference in the shadow, and you can calculate the curve, man.
Oh, boy. Aimee, did you want to get that super chat?
Oh, Aimee might be. Aimee's. Yeah. I'll. Since it's. Okay.
For 5,000 of its local currency, yes. I heard Dick's Unirock song. It was the most epic thing since Freddie Mercury passed. Love you, Shills.
Thanks so
Freddie
much.
Mercury passed. It's like, but that was a sad thing, not a good thing.
Yeah, but I know what the intention is. I understand. Yeah. Oh yeah. Insider's right. When they switched to the helicopter for that experiment, they used a telescope because they didn't want to just blast a helicopter pilot with a laser, right? But same result because a telescope, line of sight worked good, right? Good call. And thanks, Kawasa. That's that was a really fun tune to do. I had a lot of fun doing that, I'll tell you. Absolutely.
Feel Jesus in you. I'm not treating you like anything. I'm just waiting for you to set a date. Come on, little fishy. Bite the hook. Come on.
Yeah.
Take that bait.
Dark Knight Apologetics says he doesn't feel like Field Jesus would watch any of his videos or anything like that, because at least Dark Knight approaches the subject of Christianity and things with his fair play, an open mind, goes through it all properly and things like that, and believes the Earth is round, so that's good.
Yeah. If you ever want some good weapons to use against biblical flurfers, Dark Knight Apologetics has got him, because he's gotten quite good at using the Bible against them.
Yeah, he is good. Right, are we watching more crazy?
Yeah, let's. Looks like we've got Press for Truth with the pre-planned global response to COVID and the endgame agenda. God damn it! Okay, holy, this is going to be rough. Let's do it. Oh,
that's gonna hurt.
Yeah. I'm just going to adjust my seating position so I can take it in the appropriate orifice here.
Should I lube up for this one?
Yeah, definitely. You're going to need it.
Going dry, you'll feel it more.
Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Doing that. 2 seconds, folks.
Okie dokie.
Okay. That's better. Here we go.
In the previous paradigm, the war on terror paradigm, everyone is a suspect terrorist. You might be a secret terrorist, and therefore we have to be invasive and we have to do this and that and the other thing. But in that case, at the very least, there is some sort of, at least people acknowledge there's some sort of conscious intention there. Oh, that's a bad person who wants to do bad things. And perhaps you can convince people, no, I'm not a bad person. I don't want to do bad things. They're just using that label on me. But in this case, now that it's this biological paradigm, you may be an asymptomatic carrier of this virus that you don't even know. There's nothing whatsoever going on in your head. It's just that you physically exist in the world, and they say that you are an asymptomatic carrier of this.
Are you trying to imply that asymptomatic carriers don't exist for most illnesses ever? This is how every illness works. There's a point where you're contagious and usually not showing symptoms because that's how a virus propagates. If it took over your system completely immediately, it would kill you, and then it wouldn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah. It's a simple survival strategy. Come on. Right?
Yeah. Also, feel Jesus in you. I'm waiting. Come on. Come on. Good bait right here.
Oh, don't bring that up. I just put in the chat. How can people in two different countries see the same stars while looking in the different directions? And I got the best Flurf answer ever. Perspective! Yay!
Perspective. Like that one has never been used before.
We have a winner on the Flurf bingo.
We have a winner on the Flurf bingo, we do. Did anyone notice Mr. Victory?
Did we miss a super chat?
It's not long coming. I'll grab it while I'm here. Oh no, Amy's back. I'll let Aimee grab it. She's better than me. Maybe.
Aimee, you with us?
Nope, still not back.
Oh, she put back in the chat. Oh, I'll get it. Mr. Victory for $199. Feel Jesus in you. Learn how to spell dip dong.
Dip dong. I like
derp.
Feel Jesus in you. You're not paying attention. I'm speaking directly to you. Give me a date. Come on my channel. Have a conversation with me. Bite the hook.
It's like fuck.
It's like talking to a fucking goldfish.
Yeah, exactly. Now you got it at the right level. There we go. There we go.
You say that, but give me a date. We're all in quarantine. What the fuck are you doing? You have no excuse.
Yeah. You know, with this guy's beard and all, and the little gray and everything, he kind of looks like his head's on upside down. You see that?
Now you just got me thinking of that scene in freaking Red Dwarf where he puts the eyes on his chin and then does it so he can talk to the freaking aliens and robots that hate humans.
We are the Vindoluvian Empire.
That's the one. Oh, it's good to have the Brits on here.
I was thinking he sort of looks.
It was
like,
on Dave last night.
Nice.
I was thinking his beard sort of does look like, if you were to flip his head upside down, his beard sort of looks like some sort of hat that someone would have worn in Soviet Russia.
Yeah, you're right.
Now
that I look at him that way, all I can hear is him asking me for vodka.
That's right. We need meat, so we will queue for cucumber.
Something tells me I know what this guy would do with a cucumber.
Oh dear.
Oh, somebody
should we? Should we let him tell us? Because I think it's coming.
Virus, and maybe they do some sort of swab test or something, but there are false positives involved in these tests. So, yeah, you got the virus. Really? I don't feel any different, but you've got the virus. So now you have to be locked up. Oh, okay, I better do that because I don't want to kill a 91-year-old, which is, the vast majority of people dying here are over the age of 60. I mean, there is something.
You insensitive little twat bag. A 21-year-old with no underlying fucking health conditions died in the UK last week. An 18-year-old with underlying health conditions died in the UK last week. A 5-year-old with underlying health conditions but was made worse because of coronavirus died in the UK last week. You're a fucking twat.
Yeah.
Massive twat.
Yeah, let's be okay. This may be a touchy comparison for some people because a lot of people have had to deal with this in their lives or know someone who has. If you go to the doctor and the doctor tells you have a tumor and you can't see it and you can't feel it and you have no evidence whatsoever that it's there except that the doctor told you, are you going to say he's lying? Are you really going to do that? I don't think you are.
No. As someone who has one, I can tell you no.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And again, Amy, I'm sorry if that hit too close to home, but that bothers me when people imply that doctors are just going to make shit up, and it's like you're very selective for when you want to think doctors are making shit up, and I know it.
Yeah, that's just weird.
Yeah, when it comes to false positives, the only thing I can say is it's too bad his mother didn't have one on the pregnancy test she took that fucking led to him. Fuck. This guy is clearly the load that should have been swallowed. Just horrible.
Yeah, he's a douchebag. Yeah, and we had an infant die last week from coronavirus complications. So you know what? This guy really needs to, needs to go
actually, now that you say that raises a good point, because anytime an illness is particularly harmful to the elderly, it's also particularly harmful to the very young.
Absolutely.
Because they haven't developed their immune systems yet.
Yeah. Right. So thank you for the complete lack of sympathy for the children of the future, asshole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
exactly. At the moment, because I work for a local authority, we've been reassigned. They asked for volunteers to go out and shop and pick up medication for the elderly. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. And you should see how genuinely terrified people are in the UK right now. People who are sensible, people are genuinely terrified of this. My wife had it. She had it for 2 weeks. I had it. Fortunately, I was very mild symptoms. I've lost a friend through it. So this guy seriously deserves a very hard, serious, well-aimed kick in the face.
Absolutely.
And
just sorry, really quickly. Feel Jesus in you. Thank you. That's better. So you said COVID-19 hoaxers are C words. Terrible people taking advantage of a pandemic. I agree with you on this. We've got some common ground here.
Yeah, I just had to check with him to make sure he thought COVID was real, because I thought, there's always the chance, and I'm glad he came out with yes, it's real.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. See, this is why I want to talk to you, Feel Jesus, and you're clearly not a complete idiot, and we can have a conversation and we can find common ground. So that's why. Sorry, I'm like performing a little operation here on stream, and I'm sorry for interrupting people.
No worries.
Ooh, silent.
This is touchy. Holy man, this is touchy stuff.
I'm sorry. I was just reading stuff in the chat. Doing two things at once.
What
right,
should we?
Let's let upside down
give him?
face more.
Yeah, he needs some more of the vodka.
Really deeply disturbing about the way that this entire war on terror framework that's been laid out for the terrorists is now going to apply to asymptomatic carriers of a virus that you don't know. They just do some swab test and tell you.
Fuck this video. Fuck this guy. Are you serious? Yeah. You're comparing terrorists to potential disease carriers? What?
I've got a name for his upside down Russian vodka drinking ass. We're gonna call him Papa Son of a Beachy.
Well, this is just asinine. Like, terrorists are characterized by ideology and actions, the things they do and the things they believe. Neither of those has anything to do with COVID.
Nope. But China is actually monitoring its population in the same way you'd expect them to monitor terrorists, because it tracks everybody's phone and everyone's location. It actually tracks where you've been, if you've left your apartment when you're not supposed to leave your apartment, if you are what they class as a yellow or a red, because everyone gets their own little health ID at the moment on if they've been exposed to COVID, and you go next to people who are greens, they will automatically get a text saying you've just come into contact with someone who shouldn't have come into contact with. You now need to go and get tested and things like that. They're doing obviously spot checks as people leave apartments, on the tube stations and everything like that. And it is as if they are looking for fucking terrorists. It's crazy. But yeah, wow. BBC had a great breakdown of it today, going through, between CCTV, tracking everyone, and using everyone's national ID, because I didn't know, but if you buy a mobile phone in China as a Chinese citizen, you have to supply your national ID card, so that phone is then automatically registered to you. Otherwise, you can't buy the phone. So they track everything. I knew it was bad, but Jesus.
Let's be honest. I think the closest thing in reality to an Orwellian nightmare is the CCP. That's just an opinion of mine.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there.
But on that note, fuck this guy.
Well, yeah.
Fuck him.
And I've seen a resounding agreement with that statement in the chat.
Let's hit the gong just for the ceremonial benefit to my state of mind.
I want to go again.
You know,
this guy is obviously one of those who is. It has not affected me, therefore does not exist.
Yeah. There we go.
That noise.
I love it.
Oh, I wanted to
Dark Knight
go.
Apologetics just said China is weird, and in my head I just heard Forrest Gump saying, "In the land of China."
Oh.
I'm sorry, Dark Knight.
Oh, that's funny.
Turst made a good point. He said he doesn't have anybody he cares about, just himself, and that's the guy that was in the video. Yeah,
Definitely. Like Trump. Well, yeah, did anyone see on the news that obviously America said, yeah, we were advising everyone should wear face masks and things when you go out, and Trump's like, I'm not going to. Like, what?
Yeah.
Your government and science department is advising everyone to wear masks. Yeah, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It might clash with my toupee.
Sorry, go on.
It might, unless he can get a mask that, it works with his toupee properly, he's just not going to wear it, right?
He could wear a Donald Trump head and then have at least one piece of hair for his entire top of his head.
He could take one from Sergeant and write, my name is Donald Trump.
And just for the sake of balance, Justin Trudeau's beard looks goofy.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
He's not fooling anyone with that. Anyway.
No, looks like a cock cleaner.
DKG Customs. Trump already wears a rubber Trump mask. Right, I'm going to go quiet now, so I keep talking.
Well, we all know he's really a reptilian wearing a human mask, right?
When I heard that, the idea of Trump wearing a Trump mask, I had this image of, has anyone ever seen that wrestler who he had a trend of, his face is painted black and white, and he had a trend of showing up in the crowd wearing a mask of his own face, and then he would pop out of nowhere and hit somebody with a chair and then take a mask off and it's still him. And I just had a mental image of Trump doing that.
I could picture that.
I can picture that, but no, I've never seen that. Sounds awesome, though.
That's like on the Gong Show way back in the day. They had the unknown comic who had the paper bag on his head. If he peeled off the paper bag just to be a paper bag head guy, right?
Hey, barman, check the green room.
There we go. That's the Undertaker.
It's Sting.
Oh, Sting. Sorry, yes. Oh, yeah, the Undertaker's the other big scary one. It's been years since I watched any fucking wrestling.
He would do that all the time, though. He'd be in the crowd pretending to be a fan, and then he'd hit somebody with a chair. Sorry, I interrupted wrap up for that.
Well, no, it's I have nothing to add to a wrestling conversation. I've never watched it before. I don't know anything about it.
I haven't actually watched wrestling since it was called the WWF.
Same.
But I knew that was a thing, that there was a wrestler who would wear a mask of his own face, and it was funny.
It is funny, I agree.
They should call it the WWF again, because I would pay to see somebody wrestling a panda.
That was a shirt that went around for the longest time. It was the WWF logo, like the World Wildlife Fund logo, except one of the pandas had a chair and was breaking it over the other panda's back.
That's funny. Yeah, if you got somebody stupid enough to go into the ring with a rhinoceros, I'll show up for that. But if it's just men in tights rubbing each other's butts, nah, I'm not really into it.
I would also like to point out to Dick.
Oh, that was football. Well, whatever.
No. I'd just like to point out to Dick, I've just posted a GIF as well, which is also wrestling.
Yeah, that's wrestling with humanity. Oh no, that was Steaming Cup of Reason. Okay, yeah, I guess you could call that wrestling. What? Are you kidding me?
For everyone to know, just go to your Discord and type WWF in the GIFs and scroll down till you see two women wrestling. Stacy Kyber strip butt WWF funny GIF.
I was just gonna say, Dick, don't do yourself a favor tonight and Google who Stacy Keibler is.
No, I'm not gonna. Trust me, I'm not. No, I'm not. That would be as dumb as trying to find more videos that were in tonight's theme.
Anyway, I thought we were doing a wrap up.
I think we were.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say now. Fuck that vagina wrestling maniac was stupid. No, right. That's the GIF again. Damn it. The fuck, man. And then that face, it looks like Bill Clinton's face was melded in with somebody's butt. Look at that. What the fuck?
Oh, fucking hell. That's one of the aliens that went down to Egypt.
It looks like Bill Clinton giving testimony. I did not put my finger in that young woman.
His face looks like the stain that was left on Monica Lewinsky's dress.
Oh no! Came out.
Okay. So does any?
I don't think y'all heard me the first time.
Yeah.
I did not have sexual. Like, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But
Andrew Dice Clay
Chappelle had a really
Andrew
great
Dice
skit
Clay
about
did
that.
a good one on it too. It was awesome. That was really funny.
Oh, Chappelle's is fantastic. He does the whole speech that I did not have sexual relations with that woman, and then like casually sniffs his own finger.
Oh God.
Now, Dice Clay goes into the cigar and decides that if the finger's in one spot, the cigar's got to be in the other, or whatever, right? Yeah. So anyway, back to the video wrap up. Enough about Bill Clinton and that horrific little ass thing that I had to see there. God, I still can't.
Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, no matter where it is.
Yeah.
Thor, did you give any kind of wrap up on what we saw tonight?
Well, I tell you what, I really could have gone on for about 3.5 hours about some of this nonsense. But what it does prove is that there is so much stupid in this world. People do not think for themselves. YouTube seems to become the new group mind. People can't think, so they look at something and they immediately assimilate whatever bullshit they see, and that becomes their norm until the next video. And honestly, it winds me up so much. There is so much idiocy in the world. There are so many people who don't think. They think now that thinking is unimportant. And when the internet first became a thing, back in sort of late 90s, I had great hopes. I thought this is going to be a leveler. There is going to be information and education for everyone. How fucking wrong I was. Yeah. There's too much cherry picking going on. And it saddens me. It really does sadden me that this amount of nonsense is not only that it goes on, but that it's allowed to go on.
Yeah, it's like we are the YouTube. Resistance is futile.
Yeah, exactly. You will surrender your biological and cultural sisters to our own. You will service us.
Yeah, you will spread nonsense and enjoy it. You will believe the unbelievable. You will shovel the stinkiest shit.
It's a sad state of affairs. I genuinely have Facebook friends that I've been friends with for 12, 13 years on Facebook and longer in real life. And they are being sucked in by this shit. I have people contact me on a daily basis telling me that vaccinations are evil and that the earth is flat. And I can't bring myself to unfriend them because they need to be educated, but they just won't listen. Because somebody who has been through school and been to university means nothing. If it's on YouTube, it must be true.
Oh my God, yeah.
I've got friends I went to school with, and I thought, yeah, they seem quite intelligent in school and things like that. And between the 5G, the vaccinations, one of them posted one the other day, which was 10 million babies killed in the last 2 months. And I thought, oh shit, because she normally posts stuff about Africa and things like that. I thought, oh, there's something we've not seen in the news or something like that. No, she was going on about abortions. And I thought, wow, when did you become that person? And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a friend of mine at the moment. I mean, it's actually one of the few friends who's recently unfriended me because I posted at great length on Facebook about her anti-vaxxing idiocy. And I called her out. She made this great post, enormous post about how brilliant it is to be a vegan. And then I reposted to that thread a photograph that she put up 3 days later at a concert where she was wearing a leather jacket. And so I was unfriended for it. But I screenshot a whole load of comments, and I'm going to make a video about it in the very near future. Obviously, I am going to delete her name from it. I'm not that stupid.
Yeah. That's funny. How great it is to be a vegan wearing a leather jacket. That's awesome.
and Dr. Martin boots, might I add.
Oh yeah, but hey, I didn't need it. Yeah. That helps. Yeah, you're good.
Quit asking me to sprinkle them chesticles, says, why was the 6-year-old child of an anti-vaxxer crying? He was having a midlife crisis.
Oh, God. That's bad, but good. Oh, Chesties, that's a good one. I love it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's too funny. Well, for me, you really got to look at the people that are delivering this stuff. Yeah, there's quite a few out there that believe it. I mean, all you have to do is listen to the passion and anger behind like an In Rem or a Daniel Pratt, and you'll hear real believers, right? But with that last guy, that vodka swilling head upside down dude there, it's hard to tell if he's really believing what he's selling or if he's just doing it because he's getting views. And either way, he's still a complete vile human piece of shit. I mean, he's like, he's a complete waste, like, foreskin in the Jewish community. He's just going to get thrown away. So, fuck this guy, man. Just fuck him,
I love that Jewish foreskin joke.
I love it because it pushes limits, man, but it's actually true. You can't get in trouble for it. I love it.
I prefer tits on a nun.
There you go. Yeah, but you never know. She might come to her senses, and then those are still good titties, right? So who knows, To
be fair,
they're fresh. They're fresh out of the wrapper.
To be fair.
Speaking of, that's the one thing I do have to say before we go. Feel Jesus in you. I'm waiting. Come on under the wing of the dragon. It's surprisingly warm in here.
So yeah, feel Jesus in you. I mean, you got to take her there. Kevin will do it, no problem. And I'll play countdown timer, and everybody gets their equal time and blah blah in the middle, or we can get somebody else. And we got a few channels we can do it on if you don't want to do it here because we kind of like comical and whatnot. I don't give a rat's ass, man. But put up or shut up. Just
there in the side chat.
Yeah. Yeah, like shit or get off the pot, man. Come on, really.
He said he'd send an email. That's what he just posted just now. So.
Oh, I can't wait.
And in fairness to the man, he is not an anti-vaxxer.
Well, that's good then.
That's a plus.
Well, that's okay though. Feel Jesus in you says I have a speech impediment. Might be hard. Hey, that's cool. We can get through. That's no problem. We'll figure it out. Yeah, all good. No worries.
He doesn't seem to have a speech impediment when he's playing his songs on YouTube.
It's too bad God didn't help me out with that, but I guess not all things work out.
I'm so sorry. I tuned out for that and saw I have a speech impediment. It might be hard. No. We'll get through any language barrier. The last person I debated was very elderly and Swedish, and we still managed to understand each other. So yeah, I'll be nice. Don't worry.
Yeah,
and we wouldn't
Well, there
make
you
fun
go.
of anybody for that.
No. So, does anybody around the table want to get their thoughts off their chest before we slam the door on stupid and call it one done?
Wow. Yeah, that last one was just a bald-headed dumb fuck with a goddamn gold bumper under his mouth. Somebody ought to fucking pull up his ass, throw him in the freezer. We can all have a dumbsicle.
As the great
Look, Mommy.
Leomi once said, the best part of you run down the crack of your mama's ass and ended up as a brown stain on the mattress.
I think you've been cheated.
Look, Mommy, I have a dumbsicle. Well, I think on that, ladies and gentlemen, we are done. The Shills have looked at some really stupid stuff today. I think we should thank we're not thanking that videos. No, you know what? Okay, to the people we covered tonight on the show, fuck you. Thor, Logic of the Gods, thank you so much for joining us, man. I hope you had a good time with us tonight.
Yeah.
I always have a good time with the shows, my friend. Really do. Every single one of you is an absolute legend. Thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure. Hammer the stupid.
Around for Pain of Progress after the show, presented by our special guest, Thor. You're going to love it.
Exactly. Yeah. What, about 30 minutes after, by the looks of thing, is it?
We'll stick some links in the chat for everyone.
Yeah, perfect.
So, it shows I went to tonight's show. I forgot that was happening.
Yeah, I was a little lost there too. Good thing Kevin jumped in, man, or Jeff jumped in there and saved the day. So let's see, we got Pain of Progress coming up in a bit. Don't miss it. And on that note, I think we're done. So I think it's time to say goodnight, everybody. Good night.
Good night.